Hello, it's Jim Brown here for the Outrig Project with about a 10-minute report on the WOW Rally, WindRider Owners Weekend, Sarasota, Florida, October 2011. Of course, the first thing we did was to leave the beautiful facilities at the Sarasota Sailing Squadron and sail across the bay to the beautiful city of Sarasota and to arrive you know where, at the Tiki Bar. Now this WindRider event was part of the Buzzelli Multihull Rendezvous, the largest multi-hull regatta in the country. There were over 50 boats involved, but the WindRiders were the largest contingent with over 20 boats. But only a few of our multi-hull people were all that interested in racing. We had come mainly to exchange information, to schmooze, and so that's what this little video was mostly about. Now I saw something was very telling here. These gents are attempting to rewrite a catamaran after intentionally tipping it over so as to work on the masthead. Now the beach cats can be sailed like this with the downwind hull on the surface, if not on the beach like this. But note the angle at which the vessel becomes unstable with all the rest of it hanging up in the air. And note also that the catamaran rotates around its downwind hull at the surface. Each hull of the cat is large enough to float the weight of the whole vessel and its crew. By contrast now, the WindRider's outer float hulls are small enough to be driven down in a gust, rotating about the main hull on the surface, a much wider ragged edge so that the boat can pop up and take off again. Several of the WindRiders at the rally had been customized, and here's a couple of safety features from Bruce Matlack.
This is what you use the handle for, right? Coming back and forth at sea. Hold something to hold on to. There's nothing to hold on to. Gotcha. And then it also protects the compass from stepping on it. Yeah. This little thing here will save your life. If you fall overboard and you're in cold water, like in Minnesota, when you're in the water, you can reach this and flick it into the water and put your foot on it. Get that first step to get back on the boat. It's like a ladder, a little rope ladder.
And then an inspired marine seamstress named Alex Nash Ford has developed a really inventive system of storage for organizing your stuff on WindRider expeditions.
This V-bag holds coats and towels and first aid kit. What's really unique about it, it's got a little tether with the Velcro piece on it. So when I get ready to stow and go, I just put it up in here. I get it here with my foot in front of the V-bag underneath the shelf, so then it's stowed nice and neat underneath there. And you can actually put 4 of these bags along this edge. So you can put 2 and 2. It's got the little, you just slip it in the track anywhere you want it. And it's kind of nice because, whoever's in the companion seat can access stuff. You spin it around.
Now that's just a smidgen of the whole system, but also Dan Harvey has developed a simple lazy jack arrangement.
For the lazy jacks, 2 simply lines. It's a continuous line. It's just wrapped through on the shackle at the top. Down. It's got sisters. Now, this is set so that when I raise my sail and my sail goes up, it releases them. They're now slack. They don't interfere with the sail shape. When I put the sail away.
And at last, we have a really secure and almost effortless means of stepping the mast, courtesy Lowell Stevens and his wife Dee for their well-used WindRider 17.
Coming off the crutch in the rear while we do it, but we'll go back to the crutch. Okay, coming forward. Put her back on the crutch if you can, babe.
Now that crutch, mounted to the stern of the trailer,
There we go.
if it was lined with something slippery like a scrap of polyethylene, Dee could probably step this mast by herself. By working from the forward end, she could slide the mast aft through the crutch while pushing down to engage the mast socket on the ball.
Is this a hand winch?
Now the trailer's own winch is attached to the halyard, which runs all the way to the top of the mast, and the winch line is simply led through this eye bolt on the crutch. No fancy block is necessary.
But the tension is down on the ball the whole way.
Yeah.
And if I had the jib on, the jib would just come around and I
Grab it.
grab it, attach it, be ready to go.
Note that both parts of the shroud bridle are attached to the crossbeam, but only on one side, the near side in this case. And with the other shroud, the left one in this case, only the after part of the shroud bridle is attached to the after crossbeam. Now this provides enough slack to allow the mast to lean and wobble rather alarmingly from side to side, but that's okay, it cannot fall. And this amount of slack allows the mast to lean forward enough to make it easy to attach the jib stay to the bow. The jib is not shown in these photos for simplicity. But once the jib is attached, then the final shroud bridle is made up in order to tighten the whole rig. Please note, however, that for this stepping method, no pin is used to attach the mast to the ball. In fact, if it is used, it could break the mast step casting, so no pin before, during, or after this stepping method. Here are a couple more tips from Lowell and Dee.
If you have a chance to take the trampolines down before you put it on the trailer, if you roll them up and get them out of the way, you don't stand a chance of snagging the trampoline if you're especially on a shallow angle on a ramp.
Yes.
The front of the trailer has a tendency to snag on the trampoline.
Yeah.
But if you roll them up first, it won't snag. Okay, it's just a regular Velcro
Yeah.
strap. And you roll up the trampoline.
Yeah.
And then just stick this through underneath
Yeah.
At the brake.
at the brake,
Yes.
and then just attach it with the Velcro.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, DuPont, what is it?
DuPont
Teflon
silicone lubricant.
Teflon, too.
Teflon silicone lubricant.
All right. Well, that's the way to get your crossbeams to telescope easily, but now how about a couple of shameless testimonials for WindRider?
Okay, we've had this for 8 years. It's been on Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, Lake Champlain, Boston Harbor, Pamlico Sound in North Carolina, Key West on the Gulf of Mexico.
On the Gulf of Mexico.
A couple of small lakes in western Massachusetts. Now it lives on the St. Johns River in Jacksonville. New York Harbor,
Yeah, it's a trailerable boat. That's why you buy a boat on a trailer. So you can
take it
someplace and
places.
sail it.
Yeah. And Joe Murphy gets the last word.
They're great boats. I mean, we have camped 5, 6, 7 days in them. We've done the North Channel in them. We've done the Marquesas in them. We've tried to do Tortuga, but we got set. We were on our way to Cuba.
No, don't take your WindRider to Cuba yet, but let's hope soon. Bye-bye. Whoops, hold it. It's not too late to introduce Randy Smythe, one of the world's great sailors. He was at the regatta with his amazing little trimaran Scissors. He left everybody in the dust. This craft articulates so as to move the pilot's weight aft and the lee float forward. Yep, the crossbeams pivot like a pantograph, and when I look at this little boat today, I can't help but think it's futuristic. Is this the shape of WindRiders yet to come? If so, they'll have a happy rendezvous at the Sarasota Sailing Squadron, and of course, the Tiki Bar. Thanks for giving WindRiders such a great place to strut their stuff. Fair winds.